I like the traffic droid.
I like the way he's standing there at the back.
He looks the business. I think we should clone him. There should be more of him. I had a little altercation myself, an incident where I got knocked off my bike by a rubbish truck picking up rubbish. Totally didn't see me. I ended up flying onto the pavement. I've still got, there's a technical name for it, but my knees are numb still 3 weeks later from it. So, you know, I'm all for anybody to kind of point out to people that you should take a bit more time and consideration for cyclists. Are you big into your cycling, Sammy?
I used to cycle, but I nearly got knocked over by an articulated lorry turning left, and as I was going straight,
luckily saw.
Nearly went under it, and I thought that was it. This was the sign. This was the warning. So now I use a kick scooter on the pavement. I chase my son around, so I don't cycle anymore. And
meanwhile, he knocks pedestrians over all over the place. What would you think, though, if you're driving along, Nikki, and somebody comes up to you, like the traffic droid, and tells you off for cutting up a cyclist?
Well, I was probably doing something wrong then if he told me off. I must admit that I used to drive, I sometimes sit in for Vanessa on Radio 2 for the early breakfast show, so I was driving through central London at 4 in the morning, and I hate to say this, but the amount of cyclists that go through red lights. And I'm thinking, don't do it, because we all have to obey the rules.
And it also weakens the argument for cyclists the other way, doesn't it? You know, the other morning, it was 7 o'clock, there was no traffic, it was Sunday morning. My husband's going, why are you waiting? I said, because if we jump the light on red, then we're just as, you know, as bad as all the cyclists. I'm getting a round of applause from Seb, the floor manager. Thanks, Seb. But I think, you know, it does weaken the argument the other way, doesn't it? If you don't.
But we have to be reminded, safety first, because it's so easy to pick up a phone or put some lippy on, as that woman was doing in the clip. You know, you can't do that. No. You've got to be serious about driving.
Okay. Well, on tomorrow's show, our Kirsty is out and about again.
I'm here at a dog rehoming centre to find out why they've seen a 44% rise in toy pups being brought in here.
Oh, a lovely pair of puppies. Oh. OK, oh, that was so easy, so terrible. I can't believe I fell for it. Now, let's get on with sleep, because Sammy's in to take your calls a little bit later on. But last week, I don't know if you remember, Eamon Holmes was on the show, and he mentioned a gadget that he uses to wake up, because obviously he has to get up very, very early every morning, has been doing for 20 years. So let's have a look at him reminding us, and we'll have a look at the gadget in a second.
But when I get up in the morning, I bought myself this neck vibrator. And I stick it on my neck, because often you're very stiff round the neck.
You have that by the bed, do you, every night?
I do. I have that. And I get up in the morning, and Mrs. Holmes hears me gently vibrating away in the morning. And that's what I do.
Having to do that for you.
It saves her having to do.
We don't have Eamon Holmes' exact one, but we found something similar, and I'm not sure if you can hear that sound. Can you hear that? That's the sound it makes, which in itself I find very annoying. But Sammy, what would you make of that as a tool to help somebody wake up?
I think it's a great idea. It's a bit like a natural cup of coffee. Vibration is a very primitive thing that we used to. It's much better than having a ring of the alarm clock. So I actually quite like it. And think about Eamon Holmes. He's quite stiff-necked. I mean, he's got a quite tight, stiff neck. And it probably gets the circulation going and just gets him up and raring to go for the day. I think it's a very subtle way of waking up, a very subtle, natural way. So I actually quite like it.
I feel like you're on an airline or something, wouldn't you?
So what does he do? Just kind of grab it, put it on, turn it on, have a couple of minutes?
Well, it's
I guess don't knock it till you try it.
No, it obviously works for him.
You said you sleep a lot and sleep well.
I do. I sleep really well.
How much do you get on average?
This is embarrassing. I have to set the alarm, otherwise I'll keep sleeping. I mean, I can easily do 10 hours. Like, I can't turn it off.
Is that, Sammy, what do you reckon? 10 hours too much?
I probably on average get 9, between 8 and 9, and I feel that I could easily do more. Is that normal?
The normal amount is somewhere in the region of 6 to 8 hours, OK? Which is far less than what you're sleeping. That's optimal. But if you're feeling well, you look fabulous, your skin looks great, your eyes look sparkly, do you feel well rested?
I do, actually.
So
I don't wake up that tired, I have to say. I suppose after 9 hours you wouldn't really, would you?
But for some people, 9 hours is the right amount. For some people, 5 hours is the right amount. But the average is 6 to 8. So maybe for you, that's right for you.
But you could have too much. If I was doing... I mean, work wouldn't allow me to have 10 every day. But if I wasn't working, I would love 10. Is that too much?
10 would definitely be too much. And actually, there's research to show that too little and too much are equally as bad. So you need to find this right balance. 6 to 8 is optimal.
OK, can I show you another gadget, Sammy, which I've been trying out? An app was released at the end of last month. There are lots of apps that tell you how much sleep you should be getting and monitoring your sleep. This is a little bit different. I had a go at it over the weekend, and this is me wearing the headset that you have to wear to go to bed. I can't tell you how many times that shot had to be taken before I was happy with it. And you wear it around your head. It's a bit like a miner's lamp when you've got it on. It's not very sexy, but it's attached to this app, and this is the reading that I Oh no, hang on a second, it's gone off. There you go, that's my reading. I don't know if you can see that there. Now, the red is when you're awake, the green is the good quality sleep, and the kind of grey murky colour is just the light sleep. Sammy, I got 1 hour 12 deep sleep, according to this, a night, and 1 hour 12 REM that night. And in a total of 6 hours 44 minutes. I got mainly light sleep. I was taking something to help my cold, which had a sedative in it, effectively, which I wonder, you know, did that have an effect on the quality of my sleep? But what do you make of my REM and my deep sleep quantity?
These monitors, they're great. They're a great indicator. There are various apps. There's this headband one, wristband one, and ones that you can just put in your bed that pick up your movement. I think they're a fantastic indicator of whether you're getting light sleep or deep sleep. And deep sleep should represent somewhere in the region of 40 to 50% of your sleep.
So I'm way down.
You were way down, and it may be that you were feeling unwell. Maybe you were overheating and waking up unnecessarily. But really, we're looking to get as much deep sleep. That's the important sleep, or even REM sleep. That's the restorative sleep that makes your skin...
Well, the producer did it as well, and she got only 4.5 hours sleep because she's obviously young and goes out, and she actually had 2 hours deep sleep in. So that she actually got more deep sleep than I got in 6.5 hours.
But she's well, and she's obviously good at accommodating.
She's well, she's young, she's... I love her, really.
What it is she's actually getting the right amount relative to her sleep. So we're looking for the deep quality sleep. That's the important thing. And the great thing about these monitors is they can give you an indication of deep or light. And what you can then do is you can try removing coffee from your diet, or removing the alcohol from your diet, or maybe exercising and seeing what impact.
It makes you really competitive, though. I wanted to get straight back on the next night and get more deep sleep.
It does. But the great thing about it is you can figure out what works well for you. Does going to bed earlier make you get more deep sleep? Does going to bed later help you
Luckily,
get more
my
deep
husband
sleep?
was away when I was trying it out, and I tried to do it again last night, and he just kept laughing at me. And I was like trying to have a conversation with him with it on my head. Now, there's a story I want to have a quick look at, which is about teenagers going to bed early and getting up early. I'm not quite sure where they found these teenagers to do the survey, perhaps in the South Pole or somewhere. And it really helps their health. They're thinner, they're fitter than those who sleep later, which is not really surprising, but difficult. Teenagers do seem to want to go to bed late and wake up late.
Absolutely. What happens normally is you and I, we release our sleepy hormones at around about 10 o'clock, whereas teenagers, they release their sleepy hormones at around about 1 o'clock, so their tendency is they do want to stay up late. But I think this particular study was looking at also their lifestyles, and these teenagers tended to be video game players, sitting around eating rubbishy food, junk food, and I think
it's all the other factors,
it's all the other,
that
it's
go along
not
with
just
it,
that. But what we do know is that sleep, if you're sleeping well, it helps you keep your weight under control. It keeps your appetite hormones under control. So going to bed earlier and waking up earlier, ideally, will help both teenagers and adults keep their weight under control. So it's an important consideration.
A big incentive to go to sleep. OK, thank you very much. And thank you for joining us. Nikki, you're going to stay with us? You have your feet
love
red?
to.
Or even talk about them, maybe?
I'll talk about them. I want to see what yours are like.
No, you don't. More on that a bit later. I need your calls, though, for Sammy, if you want advice on ways to improve the quality of your sleep. Maybe you want to know if having an afternoon nap is good for you. I'm sure it is, but can we all fit it into our day? Or are you worried about insomnia, which is the worst thing, isn't it? You start worrying about it and then you can't get to sleep. 0207 173 5555 is the number to call. After the break, the woman who claims to be able to find all our hidden talents in our feet.